Welcome back on this Friday morning. Well, the deadly wildfire emergency in LA has led some Australian commentators to consider whether we would be ready here in Australia for similar destruction. Some experts warning that Australia has all the ingredients for a similar catastrophic fire, saying it could easily happen in major cities due to lack of planning. For their take, let's bring in 7 News presenter Amanda Abate and journalist Deborah Clay. Morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, the responsibility lies with state governments mostly. However, federal governments do have a hand in this. Is this a wake-up call for our governments, do you think, to get ready?
Well, absolutely. What we are seeing unfolding in California is absolutely devastating. That combination of the Santa Ana winds and also the terrain, the ridges and the canyons has created this precarious situation. And what strikes me when I look at it, Mon, is there's so much destruction in so many different areas that it all seems to blur into one. But of course, behind every door of every home is a personal story. And for people in New South Wales, these images, they could be quite triggering when you think back to the Black Summer bushfires of 2019, 2020. 25 people died, including 7 firefighters. And of course, in that situation, we had a lot of help from America, leasing the aircraft, the firebombing aircraft, as well as firefighting personnel. So you look at that situation. Now we have a bushfire season in California where it's overlapping with ours. It's meant to be 4 months in California, ending in November. That is clearly not the situation. So America at this stage, they haven't requested assistance from us. But given the bushfires that we've recently had in Victoria, as well as the New South Wales Hunter Valley, would we be placed to give a meaningful contribution to America? And similarly, if we got into an emergency come the end of this year, would America have the resources to help us in a meaningful way? And I think that these are the questions that the fire officials in New South Wales and Australia more broadly will be asking over the coming period. We're just stretched so far.
Yeah, well, we've just seen fires in WA only recently. So this is very much on the minds of people here in Australia. Amanda, of course, what's happened in LA shows that the fires can move into major cities, places that no one thought were possible. These are moving into urban areas, into suburban areas. Is this a wake-up call for everyone to get our houses ready no matter where you live? I mean, apartment buildings have gone up.
It's crazy. Look, it definitely is. And if it's not a wake-up call, it should be. What we're seeing around the world now is this is happening. It can happen. We can't assume it's not going to happen to us just because we live in the suburbs or the cities. I'm a Queenslander, so, I mean, when it comes to floods and storms, we're pretty well prepared. But I've got to say, bushfires, there's a lot of complacency. As a reporter, I've covered bushfires, but I've got to say myself, I don't have a bushfire plan. I've not thought about this in my own home. I certainly will be now. And it needs to come from a government level, as we're talking about, and a council level too. Put the frameworks in place. Let us know what we need to do in our own backyards to keep ourselves safe.
Yeah. All right, moving on now. And ALDI has come under fire for what shoppers say is a sneaky marketing tactic. Buyers of their packet of thin sausages fooled into thinking it's a pack of 12. See at the top there where you can see the big 12. It's actually a packet of 7. The large 12 on the label relates to how many minutes of cooking time it is. Deb, I was in love with ALDI. I feel like this is a loss of innocence. Is that too harsh?
I don't think it's too harsh at all, Mon. This is a little bit sneaky. And what do you think you would do in my situation in a family of 4? Of course you need 2 snags each. It begs the conversation around who's the favourite child, and that never ends very well.
Yeah, well, the favourite child is obviously the one that's helped the most that day. They get the extra sausage, you know. Deb, people love ALDI. And now there's an ACCC investigation, actually, into sneaky marketing tactics. Now, I don't know whether this falls under that investigation, but it's just annoying.
Oh, Well, look, I think this is definitely a marketing ploy, and it's definitely aimed at parents, the ones that have to wrangle small children in the aisles. You just want to get in and out. You don't want to be reading the fine print there. You don't have time or energy. And look, I think it's working. Obviously, I actually read that and I saw 12 minis. So I'm like, okay, 12 mini sausages, that'll work. Minis. So look, we don't have time for these clever ploys, do we? We just want to get in and out. And look, I think you probably prefer to be ripped off if it means getting out unscathed with no tantrums.
You could also just cut the sausages in half, and then that would create 14, and you just call it shrinkflation and blame someone else.
See, that's called a diet, Mom. That's another issue.
Sneaky. All right, lovely to see you both. Thank you, Deb, Amanda.
Thank you.
See you soon.